officially close our Zoom meeting today at 11 a.m. So, before any further ado, let's start our webinar today with an opening prayer. Let's pray for this webinar to run smoothly and bring valuable knowledge to us all. So, prayer will be done in our own belief. We shall have a moment of silence and prayer start. Prayer finished.
We are now continuing to the next schedule where we are going to listen the welcome speech from the Honorable Kepala Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 8 to Dr. Nikmah Nurbaiti, SPD MPD BI. The screen is all yours.
Thank you very much to Mbak Bulan and Mas Melvin, the Master of Ceremony this morning. Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to express my gratitude to all the committee who has prepared this webinar very well. Thank you very much for your working hard. And thank you special for SMA Pangudi Luhur, Mr. Angga and Mr. Anton, and all the teachers and all the committee for holding this very great English webinar for our students in Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 8. Next, thank you for everyone, the representative from all the senior high school in Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 8. Each school represented by 1 English teacher and 4 students. So thank you again for joining this program. Well, students and also all the teachers, our English webinar today is aimed to celebrate the Education Day in Indonesia. We remember that the 2nd of May is celebrated as Education National Day, and this activity is still in the range of the series activities of celebrating Indonesian National Day. So thank you very much for joining this program. I really hope that by joining this program, the love of learning English, the love to learn English for everyone, the student in our region will be improved, because everybody knows that mastering language, mastering an international language will open so many doors for us. Later, maybe we'll discuss a lot about education and also culture, how to be an autonomous learner. Because if we learn and always only wait for teachers, it is not enough. We are expected to be autonomous learner. We love learning. We need to learn a lot of new things, and we are sure that we will be autonomous learner. So everyone, happy joining this webinar. We will be with you for 2 hours. Thank you very much, all the teachers who accompany the students. And Bulan and Melvin, time now back to you. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you so much to Dr. Nikmah Nurbaiti, SPD MPD BI, for a wonderful and inspiring speech. So our next agenda today is the opening performance from the 10th grader of SMA Pangudi Luhur Pandit. For those who are appointed, please help yourselves. We're so sorry for the rescheduled thing, but before we start any activities for us today, let us sing our national anthem, Indonesia Raya, that will be presented by Christian Rafael. So the time is all yours, and we hope for all of you to sing also with us.
Thank you. So let's stand up to sing our national anthem, Indonesia Raya.
Thank you, Kripa, for the singing Indonesia Raya. Now we will continue on to the performance of the 10th graders. For the 10th graders, the screen is all yours.
On a normal day in a boarding school, the students are in a free time. They are playing some games in their mobile phones.
Balin, you will never be able to beat me in this game. I'll always be the champion.
Blah, blah, blah. Just shut up, please. You know sometimes people that talk a lot is just not good. See, you've been slain so many times.
Never mind. I'll beat you as soon as I can.
Go on, give your best. Make my day.
After that, Alex joined them and greeted them.
Hello guys, what are you guys doing? Hello? Guys, I'm speaking right now.
Shut up, Alex. You're so annoying. I'm literally focusing right now.
Hush, Balin. Just hear her first, okay? How are you, Alex?
Well, I guess I'm fine. I'm very, very fine. But however, what are you two playing right now?
We're playing Mobile Legends.
Orang mana
See?
Mas?
One of the best game I've ever played before. Look, I literally already reached mythical glory.
Really? I also have something to show you guys. This game is called Tungkla, and this is one of our local wisdoms in traditional gaming. It's actually very, very fun.
Huh? Chongklak. It's very boring, you know. Nothing so special about it.
Well, you can't say that if you haven't tried it. If you try it, it's actually a really satisfying and gratifying game.
Okay, fine. Let's try it, I guess.
After that, they're playing Chong Club together in their cell phones, of course. And guess what? Actually, they're very excited with it.
Come on. I nearly won it, Iggy. Why do you always win?
Told ya, I'm able to beat you.
Stop it, Yasira. I knew it was very fun. So, don't you guys agree?
Honestly, it is kind of fun to play this together. It can be really addicting at times. It could also be a good refresher than the Mobile Legends one.
Yeah, I kind of like it too, but Is there any meaning from this game, Alex?
Well, of course, in this game, we learn that if we even have anything, even a fortune or maybe just some money, we can actually share it first to ourselves and keep it for the better good before sharing it to other people for their necessities.
But isn't that kind of egoistic and also selfish?
Well, of course not, remembering that it's actually an educational purpose. And you're right.
What are you doing, guys? How are you today?
Ha ha ha, you are so funny, Ice.
I'm sorry, guys. By the way, are we talking about some kind of local wisdoms about traditional games? I think I love Tongklak, and I think it teaches about self-love and also about love each others, I think. Is it right or maybe wrong?
So that's actually what I just explained before. Now let me present one thing about what is Zhongguan and why is it important for us.
I think for before that, what you've been told before, I think Tongklak is also have a very valuable meanings for me. And of course, it's about depending for our future. And I think we need to be concerned to our future. And well, what's Alex presenting right now?
Hey guys, first of all, I'm Alex, and now I'll be telling you guys why local wisdom is such an important part of our history. Now, first of all, what is Chongkla in the first place? Chongkla is actually a traditional board game that is actually popular along Southeast Asia. But the problem is that where did it come from in the first place? It actually came from an Arabic trader that actually went around Indonesia and shared it to our ancestors to play. Now, this game itself, what is the purpose? Why is it important for us? And why do we need to learn it? The purpose is actually for entertainment and also socialization. In addition to its entertainment value, Zhongke is actually a way for us in educational skills, and it is actually a way for us to even plan, think, and even count better. It's actually a way for our ancestors to teach their children about what education actually means to them. Now, next, why is this important? If we know ourselves, Chongklak is an important part of our culture and actually a part of our heritage. And why is it important for us to even learn about culture in the first place? Well, heritage in the first place actually connects us to our past and helps us understand who we are and what we actually stand by. As our society have evolved over time, we actually lose a sense of what our past has been like. So why is heritage important? Because heritage fosters a sense of community and a social cohesion. It actually provides a sense of value for us humans to build strong social connections and a great impact for our better good. So why in the first place? A game like Tongkla is important for us Indonesians in the first place. Now let me tell you why. There are several reasons why we should keep on traditional gaming. First of all, of course, it's to preserve our culture. Heritage was passed down not by no reason. It was actually a way for our ancestors to know who they are and what they enjoy in life and actually gives them a sense of presence. Now, second is for socialization. Like the first reasoning, why do we play Tongkla is because we get to talk to each other. We get to know what it actually means to have a connection and ties with each other humans. As we know, in Indonesian culture, we stand by Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. And third, of course, is educational benefits. Why is chocolate important? Because traditional gaming is actually an educational source for us now kids in the modern day. And we think of before, like Balin and Iggy, they were playing Mobile Legends. Of course, it's a way for us, the new generation, to learn about what the new world is. But the problem is that we need to look back to our roots and what it actually means to our ancestors and what playing traditional gaming actually means. It is a part of us, and we as the Indonesian generation is actually what we love and would love to be a part of. So in the end, local wisdom is a part of us and we cannot separate it from our heritage itself.
Wait a minute. How did you just prepare the presentation?
Well, because I'm cool.
Stop, both of you. I think it's also teaches us about how that our future will impact for us and also impact the others' future. So I think we need to show our love and show our affection for them. And talking about local wisdom, I also love the songs one, the music one, and especially the traditional Japanese one. I forget the lyrics, but the tone is like. Does anyone know what the lyrics is?
Oh, you mean this song? I think it goes around like "Tak lelo, 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 lelo."
Yeah, that's one. Does anyone know what does the song mean?
I mean, based on those lyrics, I think it tells about a mother who dandles her child until he or she sleeps.
The sound is actually very, very calming to me. This actually reminds me of my parents at home. Since I'm at the dorm now, I really feel like going home. I really, really miss them.
Yeah, so do I. And I think when we will go back home in the end of this semester, I think we need to show our love and show our affection to them, right? And I'm talking about showing our love and affection and gratitude to them. Maybe we need to sing one song too, as we love our country. Which song, I guess?
You know, I've been thinking about this song for a while, and it just shows myself a presence of gratitude and also love to my own country. So, nonetheless, here it goes. Tanah air ku tidak ku lupakan, kantarkanlah selama hidupku.
Biarpun saya pergi jauh, tidak akan hilang dari kalbu. Tanahku yang ku cintai, engkau ku hargai.
You know what? We are proud to be
The youth generation of Indonesia. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you to the students that have performed the opening performance. Now we all know why we have to respect and to conserve the Indonesian culture. So now let's come to the next session where we are going to hear the opening speech from the 11th graders of SMA Pangudi Luhur. So to the people in charge, the given time is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Andalan.
I'm Shara, and
Welcome to Indonesia.
the home to many ancient wonders, diverse cultures, and vibrant heritage spread all across 17,000 distinctive islands in a vast archipelago. Its natural beauty, so diverse and breathtaking, from the haze of the starry sky to the depths of the pristine sea. What's even more diverse, however, is its people.
For the last 40 years, Indonesia has been the world's fourth most populated country, with over 270 million inhabitants. Astonishingly, even with that amount of people, Indonesia has more than 1,000 languages and ethnic groups. It is a huge country full of cultural differences from ancient times. And we, all of us, live in that very country. So what are we going to do with all these local wisdoms passed down to us from our ancestors? Well, we first need to know about their existence. So let us give a brief overview.
Okay, so first, the ethnics. People of Dayak and Baduy, for example, have been around for 2,000 years. Even right now, they still stay true to their culture, keeping it as pure as possible. Living traditionally in harmony with nature and leaving behind astounding relics full of wisdom and knowledge for the modern people. There are also these buildings. Have you been there? The temples and their relics of precious heritage of Indonesia's late kingdoms, the Buddhist, Muslim, and Hindu temples are proof of Indonesia's cultural diversities since ancient times. We can surely get a new perspective by studying their ways of life.
And then there are these games your parents used to play as kids. They're representations of traditional creativity and spirit. Even during the time with no internet, they still somehow found a way to have fun. This teaches us that fun doesn't only come from our electronics and that there are more moral values hidden in traditional games. There are also a lot of cultural and historical influences recognized as Indonesia's true national treasure, continuing to enrich the culture, playing significant roles in the daily and ceremonial life of the people. There are textiles like batik and tenun, crafts like wayang and wooden stone carvings. Also, architectural heritages like Jam Gadang, Lawang Sewu, and the Cathedral Jakarta Church.
All these cultural diversities are what we call the local wisdoms of Indonesia. Even with those countless cultures spread across countless people, we Indonesians still manage to turn those differences to our benefits, giving us strength and integrity. Just like our slogan, unity in diversity, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika.
Okay, cool. Those are our local wisdoms. So why do we care? Well, as we all know, Indonesia has started to implement Curriculum Merdeka, which requires the students to be more initiative and autonomous. Autonomous learners are self-directed, motivated, and proactive in seeking out opportunities to learn and grow. Well, surprise, surprise, our local wisdoms have significant impact on autonomous learning. Local cultures often shape the values and attitudes towards learning. So in some cultures, there may be a strong emphasis on self-directed learning and personal growth, which aligns well with autonomous learning. For the same reason, it can also influence students' learning style to be autonomous learning-ish, which is independent thinking and information seeking. Autonomous learning can also be enriched by the contextual relevance provided by a local culture.
That's not all. One of the most crucial factors of autonomous learning is language, and our culture really helps. Autonomous learners who love their local culture can use local languages, expressions, and communication styles to enhance their learning. This includes accessing local literature, oral traditions, and interacting with community members to deepen their understanding. Lastly, local cultures often have their own knowledge systems, including traditional practice, wisdom, and ways of knowing. Students can draw upon and integrate this knowledge into their learning journey. This connection can provide a rich and diverse foundation for autonomous learning.
Culture has an important and fundamental function as the main foothold in the life of a nation and the progress of autonomous learning. In other words, the greatness of a nation can be measured if its cultural values are ingrained in the joints of its people's lives. The love and pride of the people for the culture of their nation is one of the determining factors for the progress or failure of autonomous learners. And Indonesia is an example of a developed country because of the cultural sector. So we need to protect it.
But in protecting it, we have challenges, and that is globalization. With the boom of globalization and modernization, the foreign cultures have started to flood into being more out of control every day. Products of foreign countries, be it Eastern or Western, are getting extremely popular in all sectors. Fashion, movies, electronics, music, language, culinary, and lifestyles. It's okay if it's just popular, but it started being not okay when it started outshining local cultures. It's gotten to the point where people are ashamed of their own culture. The number of people who spend effort to protect the well-being of our culture is also decreasing.
And that is dangerous. In order to maintain the existence of our local wisdom, we, the youth, have the responsibility to participate in carrying out various cultural preservation strategies. But why youth, you might ask? Well, not just youth, but technically the youth does carry the most burden in this task. You see, history records that youth have an important role in shaping and maintaining the sustainability of the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia. In their hands, that the future of culture will be determined. Another reason is that youth are always synonymous with high ideas and creativity, ambitious, collaborative, idealistic, have a high dedication work ethic, and have the potential to become the agents of change and development. All of which are exactly what the nation needs to conserve the local wisdom and bring out its full potential.
So here's what we can do. Love and be proud of the local culture, but without closing ourselves off from other cultures as well. Take an active role in various cultural activities, even as a spectator. Proud to use Indonesian and local language as a part of our identity. Actively publish local culture by producing various creative content and distributing it through social media platforms. Learn about local history and culture through books, local literature, films, and others. Carry out ancestral cultural values like friendly, polite, tolerant, caring, wise, and humble. If the youth could implement these things, it is hoped that Indonesia's local wisdom will be sustained, developed, and continue to be the pride of the Indonesians in the future.
Welcome to Indonesia, the birthplace of various glorious cultural heritage.
Let's be proud of where we come from. Be proud of our own culture.
Be proud of the unity of diversity, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika.
Wonderful me.
Wonderful you.
Wonderful
Wonderful Indonesia.
What an amazing performance from the 11th graders, don't you think so, Bulan?
So thank you so much to Shara and Andalan for the amazing speech, for the wonderful speech about our culture. So finally, now we come to the main agenda of today's webinar. We will now having a talk show with Kepala Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 8, Dr. Nikma Nurbaiti, SPD, MPDBI as the speaker. She will have a very, very interesting discussion with other students from SMA Pakudi Urfanlit, SMA N1 Magelang, SMA N1 Luar, SMA Seminari Mertoyudan, and also SMA Taruna Muhammadiyah Gunung Pring. This discussion today will be led by our friends Chiquita Rosa and Teresa Koronka as the moderator. To Chiquita and Oka, you guys there? Hey, hey.
Hi, Bulan. Hi, Melfern.
Hey. So, you guys ready for today's webinar? Do you guys have like maybe any expectations about how our webinar will go today?
Of course, we're so excited about what is the our friends' opinion here from all of the school representatives. How about you, Oka?
Same here. I'm also very excited about this.
Okay, we're also the same, right? How about you, Mel? How about you?
I agree on that because like I want us the students of Indonesia to understand more about Indonesia, to conserve the tradition of Indonesia, you know.
Yes, exactly. This is why our webinar today will be so much interesting for every one of us. So,
Agreed.
to Chiquita, Oka, Bu Nikmah, and also other speakers from our fellow students, the time is all yours.
Hello, everyone. Okay, first of all, I'm going to thank our MC here, Bulan, and also Melvin, because they already given us the opportunity here for us to become the moderator. Okay, now, Oka, what are we going to do?
Okay, Chiquita. Right now, we're going to jump to our main session, which is talk show.
Okay, before we start everything here, why don't we introduce ourselves? So, hello guys, my name is Chiquita Rosa. People usually call me Chiquita, and this is also my partner.
My name is Teresa Koronka. You can call me Oka, and we're from
SMA PL Fanlit Muntilan.
So, Chiquita, we feel very honored, right, here to lead this amazing talk show because we have amazing speakers from our fellow schools. Maybe it's better for you all to introduce yourself as well. First, from SMA N1 Magelang, tell us about yourself.
Hi, hello everyone. Chiquita and Oka, how are you guys doing?
We're good, thank you.
I'm really glad to hear that. Okay, thank you so much for having me. And also for Bu Nikmah, Thank you so much for giving me this amazing opportunity because it is such an honor for me to be here. Okay, but before, let me introduce myself. My name is Kay Naraskar Miranti, and you can call me Kay. I'm from SMA Negeri 1 Magelang. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kane. Next, please introduce yourself, the representative from SMA Taruna Muhammadiyah.
Okay, hello guys, how are you guys doing?
We're good, thank you.
Thank you.
So let me introduce myself. I'm Finka Zarani Tiasa Ahmad. To make it easier, just call me Finka. I came from SMA Taruna Muhammadiyah Kulungpring. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Finka. Then we have our friend from SMA N Satung Luar. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, Chiquita and Oka. What are you guys
Hello.
doing?
Hello.
We're fine.
My name is Evan Ezalintang Febrian, and you can call me Evan. I'm in the first year in SMA N1 Luar.
Okay, and now from Seminari Mertoyudan, may we know your name?
Hello guys, good morning. How are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Okay, my full name is Gregoris Benito Gradiavian, and you can call me Benito, and I'm speaker from Seminari Mertoyudan. Thank you.
Thank you, Benito. Last but not least, we have our friend from SMA Pangudilur Vanlit Muntilan. Tell us about yourself.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are in a good condition. My name is Kinanti Lintang. You can call me Lintang, and I'm from SMA Pangudilur Vanlit.
All right, thank you everyone for the introduction. Nice to meet you all. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget that we also have Kepala Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 8, Ibu Dr. Nikmah Nurawaiti, SPD, MPD, BI. Greetings, Bu Nikmah.
Hello, Cikta and also Oka. Thank you very much. Very nice this meeting. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Nikmah Nurbaiti from Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 8 from Magelang. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bu Nikmah, for your willingness to join our discussion.
Thank you, Bu Nikmah. Cikita, previously we also had the opening drama from Alex, Ais, Balin, and also Iggy, right? We also have opening speech from Syara and also Andalan. What do you think about the mini drama, Cikita?
Okay, so Alex, Ais, Balin, and Iggy shows us the reality of how students go on their day now. Lots of them start to forget their culture, even disliking some. Like they only want to play games, but not remembering their traditional games. Knowing that this really happens in real life, I'm a little bit worried. But then they finally show us that there's still students that have the same worries as I do. And they want their friends to know how important our culture is in our lives. Like Alex, that shows us the values of Chongklak and also remind us how culture is so important. So finally, I could finally breathe in peace. How about you, Oka? What's your thought about the opening speech?
Amazing. This show us what actually local wisdom of Indonesia is. And although we have countless cultures inside countless people, we can still manage to turn that all into a mutual benefit. Previously, Syara and also Andalan mentioned about that local cultures can enrich autonomous learning system that we have in this point of time. So Cikita, the speech show us how interesting the theme is going to talk, right?
Yes, indeed, Oka. So we know, guys, that the theme of our webinar today is channeling local wisdom to enhance autonomous learning in Indonesian education. So ladies and gentlemen, let's start our talk.
Yes, Cikita. Our friends here must have their own opinion, right? Shall we start with our friend from SMA PL Vanlit? To our beloved friend, Kinanti Lintang, please share your opinion with us. The screen is yours.
So, good morning, everyone. My name is Lintang. Today, I want to talk about our cultural tradition and how to implement it in our education system. The Indonesian nation is a various community that consists of various ethnic groups with different customs. Me, myself, grew up as a Japanese person. So, my dad's origin is from Solo, which means my dad is Japanese, and my mom grew up in a Chinese family. Okay, so first I want to talk about the Javanese habit in my house. All my life, my parents always told me to follow the unggah-ungguh bahasa Jawa. Even though I live in a modern environment where very few people still practice about it. Even though I'm not forced to learn bahasa Jawa, my parents always put a spice of unggah-ungguh bahasa Jawa in our daily basis. For example, when my parents call me, I have to reply with dalam, not with iya or kenapa. And for example, when I pass by people, especially those who are elder than me, I have to say permisi or mari bu, mari pak. This mari-mari culture also apply in my school now. So every time we met our teachers, seniors, fellow students, or even random people we met on the way, we have to greet them. Started with our parents who told us about this, it started to become a habit. Japanese not only teach us to respect someone who is older than us, but also honor everyone from every group, ethnics, religions, and others. That's about the Japanese habits in my house. Now let's move to the Chinese culture. I'm sure you guys have heard the stereotypes of Chinese people in Indonesia, such as being good at math, having squinty eyes, always eating rice, developing a store, very hardworking, and very frugal, who are often called stingy. Well, I'm not going to say that that's all wrong, but I'm going to say it's quite accurate, even though not every Chinese people in Indonesia developing a store. Or you guys might heard the word citato or Chinese tanpa toko. I have to say that the other stereotypes are quite accurate, especially the hardworking and frugal one. I won't forget my mom's childhood story where she had to help her mothers and her uncle to developing a store since she was little. I won't also forget the story where my mom had to always go to school even though it's raining, sunny, or even though my mom was sick. As long as you're not that yet, you have to go to school. That's what my grandma said to my mother. Well, maybe it's kind of pushy, inhuman, and too cruel. I won't deny it, but let's see the positive vibes, the positive sides of it. Well, because of my grandma parenting, my mom becomes someone who is hardworking and always put dedication in everything she does. My parents educate me with both cultures. They want me to become someone who is hardworking with a great attitude. Let me tell you a little bit about how my parents arranged my study plan when I was a kid. Since I was 3, my parents had enrolled me in an English class 3 times a week. I also went to a math class at the time. Well, you might think that those classes I went to at the time was forced by my parents. But no, guys, it was all chosen by me. My parents never forced me to learn something, but it was all chosen by me. So they gave me the freedom to learn whatever I want. They asked me to study at least 2 hours a day at the time, but they gave me the freedom to read the book I want or learn whatever I want. I can say that my parents had applied autonomous learning since I was little. Well, what is autonomous learning? Autonomous learning itself refers to a situation in which learners are responsible for their learning. They take charge of their own learning and are actively involved, taking individual decisions according to their necessities or preference focused on the goals they need to achieve. Because of the habits my parents applied at home since I was a kid, now I used to study every day at least 2 hours, even though I don't have any homework to do. I also have the responsibility to choose the path for what I want to focus on. Personally, I'm a visual learner. What is a visual learner? So visual learners are those who process and retain information best when they can see it. Visual learners often prefer to sit in front of the class and watch the lecture closely. Often, the students will find that information makes more sense when it is explained with the aid of a card or illustration. I study by reading and writing down the materials. I prefer to study alone because I can be more focused on what I'm learning. For me, it is very important to implement our cultural aspects in our education system. Why? Because we can get some positive impacts in the cultural tradition. For example, as a Javanese, we can learn to respect and honor everyone from any ages, cultures, religions, and ethnics. Japanese culture to greet anyone also teaches us to be friendly. And from the Chinese culture, we can understand how hardworking they are. This could also be implemented in our daily life as a student to not easily give up on our studies. Also, students who learn about different cultures during their education feel more comfortable and safe with these differences later in life. This allows them to interact in a wider range of social groups and feel more confident in themselves as well as in their interaction with others. That's all about what I want to say. Thank you for listening. I hope it is useful for you guys. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lintang, for your opinion today. So, ladies and gentlemen, Lintang here grew up as a Chinese Japanese person. While she is learning about unggah ungguh, and also hardworking habits. So we know that Chinese and Japanese culture are different. But for her, it's very possible to mix and match both of the culture in her daily life because her parents also educate her with both culture of it. Um, from here, we know that Lintang develop a really, really good habits like honoring everyone, being friendly, and also have a hardworking habits that she has implemented by from the culture habits at home. So it's very, very good for this to be implemented also in our education system, right? Okay.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
Okay. Now let's move on to the second speaker. We have our friend Ebenezer from SMA Satu Nguar. The screen is yours.
Thank you, Cikita and Oka, for the opportunity to declare my statement. First thing first, I prefer to do my study with my friends or group project. The main reason I prefer this method of study because when we're doing things together, such as working on group project, we're doing together such as working on group project, we build synergy among our friends. It also practices our social skill, which is very useful for our self-improvement to face the developments in future. However, there are also drawbacks to learning collaboratively, one of which is that not all of our friends can be cooperative. Therefore, it can be challenging to reach common goals. As someone who values collaborative learning and group projects, I believe that this method of studying is highly effective for many reasons. One of the most significant benefits of working with peers is the synergy that can be built. Collaborating with others can help to create an environment of motivation, support, and inspiration that can lead to more efficient and productive work. Furthermore, collaborative learning can help to develop important skills, social skills, such as communication, leadership, and teamwork, which are essential for personal growth and success in both academic and professional settings. However, despite the many benefits of collaborative learning, there are also some challenges to this approach. For instance, not all group members may be equally cooperative or motivated, which can create tension and conflict within the group. Additionally, it can be challenging to reach consensus and agree on common goals, which can lead to frustration and dissatisfaction among group members. Therefore, it is important to establish clear communication and conflict resolution strategies to ensure that everyone is working towards the same objectives. In my view, the implementation of the independent curriculum in Indonesia is a positive and appropriate step towards creating a more student-centric and inclusive learning environment. This curriculum emphasizes student participation, critical thinking, and independent learning, which allows students to explore their interests and develop their own unique learning paths. This approach prioritizes student development over grades, which can reduce the stress and pressure associated with traditional academic systems and promote a more well-rounded and balanced approach to education. As someone who grew up in the Japanese tribe, I have always been fascinated by the rich cultural tradition and customs of my heritage. Japanese culture is known for its friendly and welcoming nature and the importance it places on interpersonal relationship and social harmony. I believe that these local values can be incorporated into Indonesian education to create a more inclusive, welcoming learning environment for all students. For instance, one way to achieve this could be through the integration of extracurricular activities that celebrate local culture and tradition, such as topping and dance. By incorporating these activities into the school curriculum, Students can develop a deeper appreciation for their local culture, while also developing important artistic skills and talents. This approach not only enriches the students' educational experience, but also to preserve and promote the unique cultural heritage of Indonesia. Overall, I believe that collaborative learning, independent thinking, and appreciation for local culture are all essential components of a highly quality education. By embracing these values and practice, we can create a more diverse, inclusive, and empowering learning environment for students in Indonesia and beyond. I hope that the future of education in Indonesia will continue to prioritize these values. The students will have opportunity to explore their interests, develop their talents, and grow into well-rounded and confident individuals. That's all for my opinion. That way I can learn a lot through this talk show. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Evanezar, for sharing your opinion with us. So what I can conclude is he prefers studying with friends, especially with group discussion, right? Because he found that it's very effective, but also quite challenging, as we would always have a helping hand, but also frustrating if we can't do it. So, and then the second one, he agree with the curriculum Merdeka because this curriculum put forward critical and also independent thinking. And then the third one, his proud to be Japanese because he could implement these into the school curriculum so that the local culture could be deeply appreciated, but also increasing social skills. And then, what I interest the most is the Topeng Irang extracurricular. I found that's very interesting, right? And maybe I will try it someday. Let's try it together, right?
Yes, I agree with you. Okay. Not only topic Irang, I guess there's a lot of cultural habits that we can also implement at school. It might be the topic of our third friend here. So, Finka from SMA Taruna Muhammadiyah Gunung Print, the screen is yours.
All right, so thank you for Tikwa and Elka. Firstly, I want to say massive thanks to SMA PL Vanli that give me chance to speak here. Secondly, I feel honored to giving my argument about the topics that we're going to talk about. So to shorten the time, following by the topics number 1. How do you prefer to do your study? So basically, I like reading books, but not about the school subject. It's more like a novel, manga, comic, and others. And for the learning, I prefer to do the audio-visual methods. So in these methods, we are wrote down the material while paying attention on the teacher who teach us in the class. But I kind of get trouble when it's online class or daring. Because even it's on Zoom or Teamit, when the signal gets worse, it will disturb our study and get us on a bad mood and ruin our study mood. The impact is the accident is we are in a bad mood and don't even understand about the material. It's pretty worse, right? So I can say big no to daring. And the next topic is, what do you think about Indonesian education nowadays, especially about curriculum Merdeka or autonomous learning? So curriculum Merdeka or autonomous learning is the weirdest method that I've ever get into. So many different between the latest curriculum that I've never thought before. In this curriculum, we are be able to controlling over our learning based on our interests and talents. What makes this curriculum special? The program that called by project. We always do the project 3 times in a year that take from a local traditional foods and sports. For me, the program that called project is realization for value that we've been learned in class. It's fun though, but it's kind of ruining my study plan in a week because one project can take more than 2 weeks, but overall it's fun. The next topic is, what is your cultural background? Basically, I'm Japanese. My parents are also Japanese, specifically from the Eastern. Talking about Japanese is a culture that is rich traditional values such as local wisdom, politeness, and respectful between the older and the younger. Just for information, the Eastern and the Central Java has their own accent, tradition, and other culture. Rich of culture means rich of values. The last but not least is there any local wisdom from Japanese culture that can be implemented in Indonesian education, and how could it be? There are several local wisdom from Japanese culture that can be implemented in Indonesian education. One of them is the concept of gotong royong, which emphasizes the importance of collaboration and helping each other. This concept can be applied in the classroom setting where students are encouraged to work together in group projects and help each other to achieve common goals. Another local wisdom from Japanese culture can be implemented in education is the concept of sabar or patience. This value can be instilled in students to encourage them to persist in their studies and not give up easily, especially when facing the future challenges or obstacles. The Japanese concept of dalam or inner peace and harmony can also be implemented in education to help students develop emotional intelligence and cultivate a positive and peaceful learning environment. The Japanese concept of unggah-ungguh can also be implemented in Indonesian education. Unggah-ungguh is a Japanese term that refers to a set manners and etiquette that emphasize respect and humility towards others. This concept can be applied in the classroom setting to help students develop social skills, empathy, and respect for their teacher, peers, and elders. One way to implement unggah-ungguh is education by promoting a culture of mutual respect, politeness, and kindness in the classroom. Teachers can encourage students to greet, acknowledge each other politely, use polite language, and show respect toward difference in opinion and beliefs. Moreover, teachers can also incorporate Japanese cultural values in the curriculum by including lessons about Japanese history, literature, and arts. This can help students appreciate their cultural heritage and develop a sense of pride in their identity. Overall, incorporating local wisdom from Japanese culture in education can help students develop not only academic skills, but also character and values that will benefit them in their personal and professional lives. And that's how my arguments end. Hope my arguments can help you guys to implement some of my cultural values. I also do apologize if there's so much fault while revealing my arguments. Thanks for your attention.
Okay, thank you so much, Finka. Ladies and gentlemen, so Finka really said that how culture should be incorporated in our daily lives. She said that although although she's in the same Japanese culture, but in the Eastern and Central, they implemented different values. And by this, we could know that these different values could be also implemented in the school curriculum. And that's what she have already felt this past year in the curriculum Merdeka. And I guess it's very good because by this is implemented, then our culture will always be part of us. And not to mention that our cultural values are very, very useful for our daily life. So I guess it's very good for us to always have it in our lives.
Can't agree more with you, Cikita. So shall we move on then? Our friend here from SMA Seminari Matoyudan can't hold himself to deliver his opinion. So to Benito, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Cikwita, Okta, and Bu Nikmah Nurbaiti for the time that has been given to me. First thing first, I have a complicated cultural background. My family is a Japanese culture, but my mother also has a descendants from Chinese culture. I live in Bogor, West Java, which has Sundanese culture. Because I live in an area with Sundanese culture, I am also carried away by Sundanese culture, starting from language, habits, and how to socialize with others. In Sundanese culture, there is a word that describes Sundanese culture. Kager, bager, singer, and pinter. These words illustrate that Sundanese culture has good habits, such as mutual cooperation, smiling, and being polite, especially to those who are older or more respectful. For example, I usually study by listening to music, but with limited access while at the seminary, I like to study in silence because study hours at the seminary require me to respect other friends who are studying. All I can do is study accompanied by a glass of warm drink. I am a person with an auditory learning style. I usually learn from my friends who were teaching me. I think with that learning style, I can follow the curriculum Merdeka. Why? Because Merdeka curriculum gives us freedom to choose the kind of subject that we interested in. Merdeka curriculum also invites us to cooperate with other friends. In my opinion, with this Merdeka curriculum, it can be said that the Indonesian education system has begun to move in the better direction. With the cultural background, it can be integrated with the Merdeka curriculum. Sundanese culture, habits that are owned by the Sundanese people, I'm sure there are also things that we can apply as students in this high school. One of the Sundanese cultures that can be applied in Indonesian education is mutual cooperation or mutual assistance. By helping each other, we will both benefit. If you teach your friends who don't understand a certain lesson, then you teach it. You will master the lesson you have learned more and more. Then, for those who don't understand, when you thought by your friend who understands the lesson better, you will be even more helped because your friends help you. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you, guys. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Benito. So previously, he said about that his study method is auditory and group learning. And every method is appreciated in Sinari Mertoyudan, either studying in silence or group studying, because living with others give freedom to learn, work together. It's also one of the implementation of the Merdeka curriculum, right? So, and then the second one, in this hometown in Bogor, there is Cager, Bager, Siger, and also Pintar. This is Sundanese culture that has a very good peculiarity in the way they socialize, work together, mutual cooperation, and also respect elders. So what can be taken is how to work together and how to respect each other. And this can be related to our theme because it teaches these things.
Wow, yes. I really agree with what Oka and also Betty have said. It's very, very amusing to see that lots of culture have already been implemented either at school or even because of the curriculum Merdeka. Okay, now, Oka, we actually still have the last bit of this session. So we have Kainara from SMA 1 Magelang. To Kainara, the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. I guess right now we're talking about the relation between tradition with the educational system. And here I divided the topics into 4 questions, and I hope we can all discuss it later. Okay, the first one is, how do I prefer my study? Personally, I prefer to study with an interactive method, which means that the students are more active than the teacher. More experiments, practice, and group discussions rather than just listening to theories. Group discussions give students chances to give out more of their ideas. This also helps to make the students more confident and improve their critical thinking skills. But in order to have many knowledge and ideas for the discussion, we must have a strong background of literation. And therefore, I really encourage everyone to read. I also want an experimental and observational method being implemented in Indonesian education. For example, more science experiments in labs for physics, chemistry, or biology, as well as social studies experiments. This goes the same way with art subject, because I think that it is pointless only learning based on theories without an actual practice. And we should focus more on skill practicing, because this is indeed needed for the student's future. In my opinion, innovative learning is no more about material drilling and an appropriate amount of homeworks, because it will only make the students exhausted and lost their will to study. Okay, the second question is, what is my opinion in Indonesian education nowadays, especially with curriculum Merdeka or autonomous learning? Okay, I personally think that Indonesian education system already improved much, especially since Curriculum Merdeka is being implemented. Okay, Curriculum Merdeka is a curriculum method based on competency rather than theories. This curriculum helps students to improve their soft skills, such as critical thinking, leadership, teamwork, time management, and communicating skills. And which I already said before, it is very much needed for the students' future. Curriculum Merdeka is, of course, the improvement of Curriculum 13. There are a lot of changes, so both teachers and students must be ready for this improvement. It is a teamwork that both have to work hard so that we can reach the goal. Other than that, what is autonomous learning? Okay, autonomous means the ability to take control of its own learning, either independently or in collaboration. And it represents an intentional activity which learning is pursued based on individual preferences. And I think that this will be more effective rather than being reliant on the teacher. How about examples of autonomous used in the classroom? Okay, consider inviting students to lead discussion, class discussion, or group-based activities. So in conclusion, my preferences on studying are now being implemented on today's curriculum, which is Curriculum Merdeka, and it shows that the Indonesian education system has improved a lot. I'm going to move on to the third question, which what is my cultural background? Okay, so I am a proud Japanese, and both of my parents are also Japanese. And in my house, we implement Japanese cultural rules and blend it with the modern rules as well, so that we can think globally without forgetting our cultural roots. Since I was a kid, I am always proud of Indonesian tradition and cultures. I learned traditional dances. I also learned macapat. It's a Japanese poetry recited in a song form. And I also got a chance to represent my school for a macapat competition. That time, I also danced for the opening of bulu tangkis competition. I choreographed traditional dance and mixed it with modern dance. In that way, I think that it is a very good way for young generation to not forget their tradition in this modern life. Okay, the last question is there any local wisdom from your culture that can be implemented in Indonesian education system and how? Okay, there are a lot of local wisdoms, especially knowing that Indonesia is rich in its tradition. Some of the cultures and local wisdoms that can be implemented are choosing the head of the class using deliberation, not voting, using wayang for storytelling in English class, or also wearing batik, wearing kebaya, or berkain bersama for weekly school agenda. Also making traditional food for school entrepreneurship day, and many more. It will be too many if I explain all local wisdoms that can be implemented in the educational system. And maybe we wonder why. Why is it very important for us to learn about our tradition? The answer is because by learning and spreading our own tradition can lead us to so many amazing opportunities. For example, getting a scholarship, being able to perform traditional dance or choir abroad, and many more. This will also make Indonesia rich and not losing their traditions to the globalization. We can also use social media and the improvement of technology to spread our culture. And there are so many examples. And one of them is berkain bersama. Berkain bersama shows people wearing batik on TikTok or maybe in anywhere else in social media. And because of this hashtag, more and more people are wearing batik just to join this trend. And I think it is one of a good way to spread our culture. So in conclusion, this improvement of the curriculum is a starting point for the better Indonesian educational system. That is all from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kinara, for your opinion. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kinara said that our education system has very improved much because of the curriculum Merdeka. And this finally also reflected on how the young people nowadays are starting to more and more appreciate our culture. So, by this, we know that there's a lot of local wisdom that could be implemented. And it is very important for us to learn about our tradition because it leads us to new opportunities. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have here about all of the opinions from all the school representatives. Now, okay, what should we do next?
Wait, Chico, do you forget that we still have Ibu Nikmah with us? Of course, we will have Ibu Nikmah to share her ideas about our theme, channeling local wisdom to enhance autonomous learning in Indonesian education. For Ibu Nikmah, please share your thoughts and also wisdom to us about our theme today. To Ibu Nikmah, the screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Cikita and also Mbak Oka. Wow, it's wonderful. I'm really happy and really proud of you all that today we have this forum. It is not competition, but it is collaboration and coordination. And everyone from different schools all over Chaplin 8, now everyone see that our friends master very good English. And everyone here, I'm sure you do too. Nah, the question is, how can we have such kind of forum? Thank you again to Pandit and also to all the presenters, Mas Evan, Mbak Vinsa, Benito, and also Kay. It's very great performance, and everyone from every school can learn and also see. Wow, we have a lot of good forum today. Okay, talking about culture and education, maybe I will focus the education. Some students have presented about the cultures. Now let me talk a little about education. Let me share my PowerPoint. Okay. Yes. The title is Prepare Your Future and Be an Autonomous Learner. This is me. I'm Dr. Nikmah Nurbaiti, SPD MPDBI. I'm from Purworejo. I have been an English teacher in SMA 7 Purworejo for 15 years and then promoted to be a principal in SMA 5 Purworejo, SMA 11 Purworejo, and then SMA 7 Purworejo for 13 years. And now I'm Kepala Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 8. It includes Temanggung, Purworejo, Kota Magelang, and Kabupaten Magelang. There are about 90 senior high school and about more than 100 vocational high schools. So there are 215 high schools and also SLB, special school, in Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 8. My office now is in Magelang. Maybe if you know Museum Diponegoro, so my office is in that area. This is my picture. The one with red veil, not the statue, of course. I will give you some question. I have talked about this in SMA Taruna Nusantara last week. Big questions to answer. Do you want to get success? Or maybe you see many people get highest achievement, and then you just wonder, how can they achieve that? How can they go there? Or maybe you admire some famous writers. How can they write very excellent ideas? Or maybe you wonder some students can study abroad. Or maybe you envy some students get scholarships. Or maybe you are jealous many students study in Universitas Indonesia, in Gajah Mada, in ITS, and so many good universities, private universities abroad, or maybe in Indonesia. Or maybe you are envious how some young people get very good jobs. Or maybe you are eager to know how young people get many opportunities to join international meetings and programs. Or maybe you dream to fly high, to see the wonderful places in the world. Or maybe you dream to feel the snow in your hands. Or maybe you just imagine you will enjoy the Lux Hotel all over the world. Yes, what is the key? The key is high education. This is only some pictures, some places in the world that you can dream you go there, or that you can imagine that someday you will visit the places. According to Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. In Indonesia, the goal of education are included in the first. You must be a faithful person. You believe in your religion. You believe in God. This is the first key in educational in Indonesia. The second, you will implement the value from Pancasila. And then the third, you improve your knowledge to improve your competence. These are the goals of education in Indonesia: your character, and then your knowledge, and also your competence. 20th century scale also promote these three things: good character, good literacy, and good competence. So if you want to get success in this century, you must have good character, good literacy, or you must be very literate, and then you must have high competencies. Autonomous learner has been discussed by all the presenters. In short, I will say that autonomous learner is every student has responsibility, autonomy, and authority to do their own learning. It means you study, you learn, not because you will have a test, not because you will have exam, not because your teacher forced you to study, but you love studying. You like to study. You make that studying is your need. You make that learning is your need. So it does not depend on your teacher. It does not depend on the schedule, but you be an autonomous learner means you love learning. You have an autonomy, responsibility, and authority to create your own learning. It is autonomous learning. And then how to prepare your future? I offer these 10 steps. I take from one book, but I think it's very useful for young people. The first, create your own vision. Now you can write your own vision after this. I want to be accepted in Nanyang University. I want to be accepted in one wonderful university in the world. I want to be accepted in the best university in Indonesia. That is your own vision. I want to be a successful young person. This is your own vision. Write or create your own vision. But vision without execution is only delusion. The second, have big dream. When you shoot the moon, even if you miss, you are still 1,000 times higher than tallest mountain on earth. Don't be afraid to make your big dream. Write your vision, write your big dream now. And then the third, after you have a dream, you must make decision and take action. Bu Nikmah, I want to be a student of Nanyang University after this. And then you do nothing. Only rebahan, playing game for many hours. No, and then semua akan indah pada waktunya. No, indah will not come to your life if you don't work hard for that. So you must work hard for that. Make decision and take the action now. You see your friends speak English really well, and then you just wonder, how can Cikita and Oka and some presenters from Pangudi Luhur, from SMA 1, from Taruna Muhammadiyah, from Luar, and then from Seminari, they speak English well. And then you just dream, I want to be like them. And then you do nothing, you won't be able to speak English like them. If you want to be like them, make decision and take the action. Learn English from now. So it must be real. And then keep moving forward. Nobody can get the goal in only 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month. You must do it day by day, week by week. Maybe it is not as fast as you imagine, but you keep moving forward. You keep moving forward. Focus to what you want to get, and then discipline and commitment are the keys. If you want to do something, make yourself disciplined. Nobody will force you. Maybe your father will not force you. Maybe your teacher will not force you, but you yourself force yourself. I must be disciplined 10 minutes a day. I must do like this. Mbak Kay or Mbak Pinsa tell us that every day she learns for 2 hours. She is disciplined with herself because nobody can create your own future. It is you yourself who will create it. Next, focus on long-term goal. If you have your vision, you have your big dream, and then you have your long-term goal. After this year, I will be this. And then please focus on your long-term goal. If your friend asks you to play games for 10 hours a day, no, sorry, I will do this thing. No, I can't. If your friend force you to go out for 3 weeks, to go out for 3 hours, to leave the class for how many days, no, you are my friend, but I cannot follow you in this thing because I have a long-term goal. I want to study hard and I want to get my big dream come true. You belong to these people who makes things happen, or you just belongs to people who watch things happen, or you just wonder, how can this happen? You may choose one of them. I hope you will choose the one. You make the things happen. And then the 6th step, breathe to make step. No high achiever woke up in the morning and say, let's see what happened. A high achiever wake up in the morning, they make some priorities. Oh, I will do this one, and this one, and they are disciplined with themselves. 7, get out from hindrances. There are so many hindrances. There are so many bad things around you. Everyone is sure that they have no time, they have no talent, and they have no money. They will say, I'm poor, I have no talent, and I don't think I have time. Come on, everyone. Even if you have no money, you can get high education. You can go around the world. There are so many scholarships. Open your word. And Tuhan Maha Kaya. In Bahasa Indonesia, we say Tuhan Maha Kaya. Make sure you have big dream, work hard for that, and you will get the chances. To tell you maybe a little inspiration, I have no money. I am a teacher. I have money, but not very big money. But I have visited 10 countries in the world, and I got it free. It is because I master English, and then I get big dream, and God make me possible to do all my dream. If I must pay all my journey to another country, I will have no money for that. But God again is very rich. You have big dream, and then you work hard for achieving that. I'm sure that you can do that. So don't be an optimist person, because don't be a pessimist person, because pessimist person always see difficulties in every opportunities. But be optimist person. They will always see opportunity in every difficult thing. And then the 8th thing, gaining your passion. Do it with passion. If you want to be a good learner, autonomous learner, study with your own style, with your own space, with your own room, with your own possible situation, study hard for that. Never listen to your friend who mock on you. You know, learn very hard, you will be a president, and then they will smile, maybe laugh at you. Don't think about that. Just say, Amen. Wow, you are very diligent now after you join the webinar. You will be the next president. Yes, I will. Just smile and Amen. Some people around you will mock you if you do good thing. Be a tough person. I will do this because I am autonomous. I will do this, and next time you will just smile at my success. Do it with your passion. Love what you do. Love your learning time. Love your process in gaining your idea. So do your best, set high standard, raising your standard. To get success, what you need is to give what you have. And then 9, integrating excellence and ethics. So many speakers talk about how culture shape you, even how toto kromo, unggah-ungguh will shape you. The good person is combining excellence and ethics. You are excellent, but you are polite. You are modern, but you are very santun. But you know toto kromo, but you know unggah-ungguh. You see Japanese person, they very high in technology, but they also very good in traditional life. How they bow, how they greet other person, it is very traditional. So make sure you are excellent, you are millennial, you are great generation, but ethic is still number 1. And then the last, make networking, make a lot of friends, make a great team, choose the right circle. If you have 5 or 4 close friends and they just take you to the bad situation, to the bad things, to the bad activity, leave them, choose the good circle. Make sure that everyone in your circle support each other and then motivate you to get your dream, and each other of your circle will support each other. Make a good circle. If your circle now disparate you, discourage your step, leave them. Say goodbye to them, but still be friend with them. Make good circle. Make sure you choose the right circle, because they will shape your future. Again, be autonomous learner. Don't wait your teacher to study or to learn new things. And then make sure that the value in our culture, Japanese culture, Chinese culture, Sundanese culture shape our ethic combined with our excellence. I'm sure the young generation will be successful if you combine culture and education, modern but traditional, traditional but visionary to the future. Prepare your own future now and see you on the top. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much to Ibu Dr. Nikmah Nurbaiti SPD MPDPI as Kepala Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 8. We got a lot of new information and also enlightenment about how can we reach our dreams, right, Chikita? And what I found relatable with myself is the you want to reach big dreams, but only rebahan thing. It makes me regret that I used to do it every time. So, Chikita, now I think the other audiences must have their own thoughts and also opinion about our team, right? So, Chikita, do we still have time to hold open discussion?
Looking at our time now, of course, we still have time. Okay, now to the other audience who want to ask or give their own thoughts, please open your camera and use the raise hand feature. And after you're allowed to speak, please say your complete name and your school. Okay, is there anyone that want to ask or give their opinion? In the question box, there's a question from Beta Novelda Nurdias. Do you want to ask for yourself? Okay, we're going to move on first to Ratma Dewi S. For Ratna Dewi, you can deliver your question or your opinion. I'm sorry, Ratna Dewi, you are inaudible right now. Ratna Dewi, you're still inaudible. We cannot hear you.
Sorry.
Oh, no. Yeah, now we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Wait. Is my voice listened by you all?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Good afternoon. Sorry. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Devita Nazarani Aziza. I'm from SMA Negeri 2 Purworejo, and I have a question about the Indonesian diversity. We all know if Indonesia is a diversity country, but somehow there's often happened conflict between other ethnics or in a group project. I mean student group. And I want to ask how we solve the problem through the education of local wisdom in curriculum Merdeka. Thank you.
For Ibu Nikmah, do you want to directly answer it?
Okay, thank you. I also invite Mbak Pinsa, Mas Benito, and Mbak Kay, and also Mas Evan, if you have something to respond after this. There are so many questions, Mbak Pinsa and other speakers. Maybe you can see from the chat box, and then later you can answer one of them. Thank you, Mbak Ratna Dewi, but your name is Devita. Ratna Dewi is, sorry, Ratna Dewi is your name here, but Mbak Devita from SMA 2 Purworejo. Thank you for joining this webinar and also for asking the question. How about if there is a conflict in our project or maybe in our real life? There are so many conflicts because they are still see from different backgrounds, sometimes cultural background or sometimes because of regional background. For example, from different suku, different race in Indonesia. And in our school, what should we do in our curriculum Merdeka? Well, if the conflict is in the real life, maybe our responsibility as students, first, we must prevent that happen, especially for young people. We talk to our friends, and then in our school, maybe we have a lot of activities to promote our unity, to promote our cultural competence in the basic literacy. In basic literacy, the sixth literacy is competence. The sixth literacy is cultural literacy. In cultural literacy, it means that everyone in this world, not only in Indonesia, they must respect other culture. They must respect our own culture and other culture. So if everyone understands that every culture is different, they can be different, but they must not separate each other, but they enrich each other, they will be good citizens. So maybe what we can do as young people is understanding our culture, that every culture actually teaches good things, teaches good values. So what SMA Pangudi Luhur does, for example, promoting culture, channeling culture to our now life is a good step. And P5, Project P5 at school is also a good step to again reshaping the understanding of culture for young people, because we wonder maybe young people really know about celebrity life, about everyone's life, but they do not learn a lot about the value of culture. So Mbak Devita, what we can do as students is preventing the conflict to happen. How to prevent them? We must understand the culture, promoting a lot of good values of culture in our school, promoting Project P5 to again reshaping our culture, reintroducing the culture to our young generation. And Mbak Devita and friends, I really know that in SMA 2, this kind of activity is also promoted. And we hope that everyone will learn that every culture is good. Every culture teaches the good values. Our young generation responsibility now is learning the good value of our culture, combining the modern life with traditional values. Thank you, Mbak Devita.
Thank you for your explanation, Bu Nikma. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bu Nikma and also Ratna. Now, before we move on to the next question, I'm going to remind everyone that we are going to prioritize our friends here that raised their hands. So for the students that deliver their questions or opinions in the chat box, you could just raise hand and also turn on your camera. Okay, next we're going to move on to SMA 2 Temanggung. We would hear your questions. Thank you.
Anyone here? Hello?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes. Can you hear it? Sorry. My name is David Conroy from SMA 2. And this is my question that's very, very implicit question. Sorry if it's sometimes a little bit using the outside other culture like this. When a man like the other culture, we are being said to follow the culture of our forefathers and our ancestors, which was the wisdom of our ancient civilization. And I was also heard to accept another culture. Can you hear it? Hello?
Yes, thank you.
And then when I hear about few of news about the political situation in another nation like the Western ones, they have the culture that explicitly destroy the culture of ancient people. And I also have one question also. It's okay, we have learned the traditional Eastern culture, not just from Indonesia, but also like the Chinese, the Japanese, the Indians, like, and also the traditional game of warfare and other like that. Is that still a new thing like archery or swordsmanship or learning how to ride a horse and learning about language of ancient literacy of Chinese and other language of literacy of Java or ancient words of our forefathers like Palawa word, Sanskrit of our forefathers of the Majapahit, Sriwijaya and Kuta and other kingdom of Indonesia. Is that could be learned from or we must objectively learning every literacy of the ancient traditional people like Latins of Greeks of Chinese or everything about the ancient people? Can we use those philosophical and other thinking of the everyday life that about wisdom, about tolerism and other, and also doesn't care about race and culture? Is that still explicitly could be learned or another items? Thank you. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry if I take a longer saying about it, longer time than minutes. Okay.
Okay. Mbak Cikita and Oka.
Yes, ma'am, you could you can just answer them directly.
Okay, from other speakers, maybe you can also highlight some other speakers like Benito, Mbak Kay, and then Mbak Vinsa, and Mas Evan. Maybe you will answer this question. Yeah, I got some difficulties in getting the question, but maybe like this, Mas. How about in this situation, the political will sometimes destroy the culture? And as young generation, do we need to learn about ancient wisdom, like from Majapahit, from very previous life? Do we still need to learn about archery and then riding horse and then and such kind of life? Well, Mas from SMA 2 Temanggung, very good question. The answer, maybe I'm trying to answer your question. Some local wisdom, very ancient, they were very good at that time, but the basic value still can be implemented in our modern life. Like, for example, not really ancient, from Ki Hajar Dewantara, it has been so many decades ago, but the value still can be used and implemented until now. So if you ask, do we still need to learn about like riding horse and then writing their ancient books, for example? For some people, it is still very important. For example, Japanese language. If young people do not feel interested in Japanese language, it will be very difficult someday to learn about that. Now, so many books about Japanese language are kept in another country, in Netherlands. There are so many books about Japanese language there. If young people in Indonesia do not feel interested to learn about our own language, sometimes it can be vanished. And if we want to learn about it, maybe we can learn from another country. I think it is funny. Gamelan, for example, so many young people, I myself do not play gamelan. I do not sing Japanese song. But so many people from other countries are interested in our art like that. They perform, they play gamelan, and we just wonder, oh, some foreigners play gamelan, some foreigners sing Indonesian song. They can even bowo, they can sing Japanese song, they can wear sanggul and kebaya, and we just wonder, that is my culture. Yeah, this is your culture. Why don't you play that? Why don't you learn that? Why you let other people do that for you? Thomas, our challenge as young generation, we know again, like playing game, you play a lot of game, Free Fire, Mobile Legend, but you don't play Chongkla, you forget about hide and seek in Japanese version, you don't know about Japanese traditional game, for example. So in Project P5, in SMA Candiroto, the theme is Indonesian traditional games. It was very fun to see young people play Indonesian games again. So Mas, I really agree with you. Local wisdom, as long as the value is everlasting, we still can use the wisdom. And then for competence, if it is still related to our nowadays life, I think we need to learn that. And value, wisdom, I think it is everlasting. It is eternal because it can be implemented in any ages. It can be implemented in even any centuries. Maybe even in 2 or 3 centuries in the future, we still can use that values because values is a good thing. Values is teaching us about virtues. From values and virtues, life actually can always be suitable with that value. Again, Mas, thank you very much. We can learn about the ancient thing as long as it is still implemented now and it is supporting our modern life because value will be everlasting. I hope I am answering. Thank you very much to SMA 2 Temanggung. Mas Benito or Mbak Anu, maybe you can, Mbak K, maybe you can add if you want, just open your mic. Thank you, Mbak Cikita and Mbak Oka. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Nikmah, and also our friend from SMA 2 Temanggung. Do you want, for Benito, do you want to add something?
No,
Hi,
I just
Cikita and
want
Oka.
to say, I just want to ask questions. Yeah?
Okay.
Cikita and Oka, I think I have something to add here.
Okay. You can
okay.
just deliver
You
it.
can just straight up.
Okay, so to answer that, I think that ancient wisdom can also be taken as a good influence on us. And for like the archery, horse riding, I think it's a nice thing to learn just to give you more and more experience. And as long as it's a good thing and beneficial, I think it is a good way for us to live a life full of experience. I think that's it from me.
Okay, at Mbak Cikita, I add the question. I remember how about Western and Eastern. Eastern means not only Indonesia but also Chinese, Japanese, and also maybe Korea or in East Asia. We can learn. They have a similar value with us. They have traditional life. They have modern life. Thank you, Mbak Kay, for the addition. Back to you, Mbak Cikita and Mbak Oka.
Okay, thank you for Ibu Nikmah and also Kenara. So next we have SMA Negeri 1 Salaman. You can directly. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, we can hear it now.
Good morning. Hello,
Okay.
everyone. So my name is Zakia from SMA Negeri 1 Salaman. So my question is how to maintain the existing culture in society by acting rationally as a result of globalization. That's all my question. Thank you.
Okay, maybe you can repeat once more, Mbak, how to maintain the culture in our.
Okay. How to maintain the existing culture in society by acting rationally as a result of globalization. Is it clear?
Is it clear, Bu Nikmah?
Is it clear enough?
Wait, I think Bu Nikmah has problem with the internet connection. Hello, Bu Nikmah, can you hear us?
Okay, now I can. Maybe I have unstable connection because now my office is very old building. It has been 200,000. Yeah, 200,000 years. So the building sometimes has very bad connection. Okay, how to, Mbak Cikita, maybe you can say one more about Mbak from SMA Salaman question.
We're sorry, but I guess we cannot hear it too because there's also a problem in our connection here. Maybe SMA Negeri Satu Salaman, can you please repeat again one more time? Thank you.
Okay, so my question is how to maintain the existing culture in society by acting rationally as a result of globalization.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. What is your name, Mbak?
My name is Zakia.
Zakia from SMA 1 Salaman. Okay, give my regard to your principal. Okay, Mbak, how to maintain the existing culture in this very modern era? But another speaker, if you want to answer or add my answer, I think you have the opportunity. Mbak Zakia, how to maintain this culture? Everyone want to be said to live in modern era. Everyone want to say, I am modern, I am millennial. Young people are happy if they are said not cooper, not ketinggalan zaman. So everyone is competing to be modern. Everyone is competing to be millennial. Everyone is happy and proud if they are that time ke barat-baratan, for example. Now, how young people still love their culture? Again, it is the same with the previous question, that every culture has very good values. Value, for example, in Japanese culture, toto kromo, ojo tumeh, kemudian menghormati orang tua, respecting other people, respecting our parents are still very important. Maybe you have question. We are millennial. Do we still need toto kromo or unggah-ungguh? Yes, we still need them. Even if you use mobile phone, even if you use social media, you must still be polite there. Like, good morning. May I ask you a question? Thank you very much. You still need this kind of values. So how to maintain the culture? The culture, actually, there are two kinds of culture product. The first is artifact of the culture itself, like dancing and then maybe singing. It is like houses, it is traditional or culture. But the other is the way of thinking and then values and then language, it is also the culture. And how to maintain for young people, first try to learn and know about our culture. Try to know and learn about Japanese culture if you are Japanese, Chinese if you are Chinese, Sundanese if you are Sundanese, or maybe Papua if you are from Papua. Every region have their own culture and it is good. How to maintain, learn, and then try to understand and then try to implement. We are very modern, but when your father call you at home, you still say, "Dalem Pak, dalem Bu." You will not say, "Yes, I'm here, Daddy." No, I think we are in Purworejo, we are in Magelang, we will say, "Yes, Ibu." Yeah, we will say, "Dalem Bu, dalem Pak." We still use that thing. We won't say, "Yes, Daddy," "Yes, Mommy." No, we won't say that. So learn to know, learn to understand, and implement the culture. And then introduce the culture to others. And then also promote the culture to young generation, to your friend. I offer 5 steps. Learn to know, learn to understand, try to implement the culture. And then after that, introduce the culture to others. And then promote the culture to young generation and your friend. So I think it can be used to maintain our culture because it is really good for our life. Thank you, Yakia.
Okay, thank you so much for Ibu Nikma and also Okay, thank you so much for Ibu Nikmah and also Zakia for already asking. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, because of the limited of time, we can only accommodate one more question here, and we are going to pick one of the questions from the chat box. We found the question from SMA and for Magelang is very interesting, given to Lintang, and because we have seen SMA and for Magelang also raise their hand, so we for SMA and for Magelang, you can just unmute yourself and ask directly. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, good morning. My name is Muhammad Randi Gimnasiar. I'm from SMA Negeri 4 Magelang. I'm very interested with Kinanti Linsang's presentation and also her contents. Here, I want to ask a question about her experience in her multicultural family. I think being raised in Japanese Chinese family is a very unique and fascinating experience that can be experienced by everyone. I guess there are so many cultural differences that you have in your family. So, according to you, what is the pros and cons of being raised in multicultural family that you have found? And also, what will you do if there are some conflicting cultural and cultural class in your family life? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. I agree that uh, it's not a common experience to being raised in a multicultural family. Well, the positive sides are, of course, I can learn about different traditions. For example, when I gather with my dad's family, which means they are mostly Japanese. So when we gather, mostly they talk in Japanese. So even though I cannot understand Bahasa Jawa at all, now I can understand some new vocabulary and talk in Bahasa Jawa a little bit. And also, it helps me a lot to communicate with the native people in my school environment now. And from my Chinese family, I found that they have an interesting tradition, but somehow not many people know about this. So it's a privilege for me to get the chance to learn the tradition. For example, the tradition when we were celebrating the Chinese New Year. Somehow, I also understand that different ethnic backgrounds could affect our personality. For example, Japanese people are more friendly and relaxed, but Chinese people are more likely to be dexterous. It's kind of funny, but personally, I think this is a big privilege for me. So one of the best thing about being in a multicultural family is I can get the ang pao during Chinese New Year. And for the cons, luckily I haven't found any because I thought being raised in a multicultural family is a big privilege. And for what I will do if there's some conflict on my family. So have you ever heard the proverb, when in Rome, do as the Romans do? I guess that's the best solution to do when there's a cultural conflict in my family. This proverb means that it's best to follow the traditions or customs of a place being visited. So when I'm in my Japanese family, I follow the tradition and habits. And that's the same when I'm in my Chinese family and try not to compare both cultures.
Thank you very much for your answer.
Okay, for Dr. Ibu Nikmah, would you like to add something?
Oh, I think Mbak what is her name? Mbak Kinanti.
Yes, Mbak Kinanti Lintang.
Mbak Lintang. Mbak Lintang has answered very clearly. She has privilege because she has lived and experienced multicultural life. Sometimes gets anpao, sometimes gets uang saku and lebaran. Yeah. Thank you, Mbak Lintang. Very nice answer and elaboration. And thank you also the question from SMA 4 Magelang. Good, thank you. You can just continue.
Okay, we remember that our fellow speakers, Kak Benito, have also similar things. Like, although he's fully Japanese, but he grew up in a Sundanese environment. So maybe Kak Benito, do you have any thoughts about this?
Yeah, maybe it's a little difficult for me to some kind of Like I'm a Javanese people, but I'm a Javanese person. I live in a Sundanese culture is very difficult, but I grow up in the Sundanese culture, so I some respect to Sundanese culture because Sundanese culture is unique, have a unique tradition, like yeah, mutual cooperation and kindly uh, respect others and many more. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Benito. Okay, thank you so much for the responses from all of the audience. I feel so proud and excited that unexpectedly the audience here all have amazing thoughts about our theme today, right, Chiquita?
Yes.
We are so glad and we're very thankful that everyone here put such a large interest in this topic, as we can see that there's a lot of questions both directly or via chat box.
And yeah, we are very sorry for all the audience who has already raised hand or also expressed their opinions and also questions in their chat box. Because that all responses can't be accepted because unfortunately we're very limited in time.
Yes, Chiquita, but let's hope that we will have another chance like this to discuss deeper about the team, right?
Yes, my fingers crossed. Okay, Oka, and ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our talk show and open discussion. We express our deepest gratitude to Ibu Dr. Nikmah Nurbaiti, SPD MPDBI, as Kepala Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 8, and also our speaker friends from Velo Schools.
Now we give back the time and also the screen to our beloved MC. I'm Oka.
And I'm Chiquita.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Chiquita and Oka, for the talk show. Thank you very much for the amazing and wonderful discussion that we have had for today's webinar. So, Bulan, what do you think of today's discussion? Because I personally thought that it was amazing and fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Because right now, as students of this age, we also experience those kinds of things. And I personally feel that tradition has been starting to fade slowly due to modern technology that has changed our ways. So conserving tradition is like one of the things in order to keep Indonesia's tradition alive and well. I also think that by having Curriculum Merdeka as our main curriculum, we get the feeling of the freedom to choose. For example, if we have a dream to pursue or to achieve, we get, by this curriculum, we get to experience those freedoms on that can support our decision for our future. And I personally enjoy that because Curriculum Merdeka in here, SMA Pangudi Luarfan, it really gives you individual tasks, but more of group projects and etc. And I am the type of person that enjoys discussion more when I study. It goes to my brains more than studying individually, you know. And this discussion has led me into working together with various kinds of people, and I get to even understand some of their cultures. And I would like to be thankful for these group projects due to me learning their new cultures, habits, and personalities of different sorts of people. But anyways, Bulan, we are reaching the end of our webinar, sadly. So what do you think of today's event? Any valuable point that you may have got?
Well, of course, there's so much that I got today. There's so much valuable points. There's so much knowledge that I got today. There's so many things, so many things that I have to learn today. So, well, personally, I am so proud and I am so happy to be Indonesian. I'm so happy that we got the culture that is really diverse, that making us to become a diverse country. And with that, with our diverse country that are so many countries, so many cultures in our country, we have to tolerate with each other, right? So that is what we talked in our opening performance and opening speech from SMA Pangudi Luarfan. So the mini drama and the speech talk about how cultures need to be always be enhanced in Indonesian education and how we all have to respect each other with the diverse culture right here. So Indonesian education, like how every students learn differently, we have to support and appreciate each other also. And the thing is, do not be afraid to show your culture. Do not be afraid to maybe talk. Maybe some people will say like, "Oh, kuno banget sih, masih belajarnya paling congklak, masih apa." I don't think that we need to be afraid of that. Like Alex, before for the drama, she's brave to show that congklak is our culture. She is brave to to know that congklak is still relevant in while other people are playing like Mobile Legends, like we should be proud that we can still play congklak, we can still play maybe like petak umpet and stuff. Those are our treasure that is needed to be loved, to be appreciated, and to be globalized to others. So we move on to the talk show, to our main agenda today with Dr. Nikman Nurbaiti. We got so many point of views about cultures and education from the speakers from all over the schools. We also learn how to enhance our curriculum with our new curriculum with the culture right now. And we talk about curriculum Merdeka that you experience, right? Yes. So I really happy that you are happy to learn in the school with the curriculum Merdeka that you have just experienced right now. And I know that your friends must be happy with that too, right?
Yes.
So I heard there are so many things about Pelima.
Yeah.
That is a really helpful project. Isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah. I am really happy to hear that you can learn so many cultures from your friends that throughout that project. So I think that curriculum Merdeka is getting a support from every one of us, right? So we also learn about how to always loving our cultures and enhance them to acculturate it with the globalization right now. So we, as students, as the next generation for our country, we all have to learn, and we always have to conversing out our heritage culture, which is so much of a culture right now. Like we said before that Indonesian culture is so diverse, right? So we know that it is important to learn and it is important to know our culture. And we also learn about how to be autonomous learner and how is it important to having and realizing the importance of learning, because whatever you do, it all depends on yourself.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I generally think that we have the same brain cell because I also thought of the same thing.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I am very sure of it. Well, Melvin, sadly, I think that this is really the time for us to unfortunately close our webinar today, right? But before that, let me remind the audience of a few things. So first of all, there will be a link for e-certificate in the end of this webinar that already sent on the chat box. So please fill in the link if you want to get the e-certificate that will be sent through your emails.
Also, do not forget, after the prayer, we'll be having a documentation session for all the audiences. So please be ready to open your cam and show us your best pose.
Yeah. And now, to close our webinar today, let us have a moment of silence to thank our God that this webinar have gone smoothly and bring so many new learning things to us. So prayers will be done by our own beliefs. Now prayers start. And prayer finished.
Now it's time to our documentation session. So please open your cameras, audiences, and show us your best pose. And for the co-host, please take the screenshot from all the audience's screens.
So please, y'all, give us your best smile.
And your best pose.
Of course. Okay, so for the co-host, are you guys ready?
Yep, totally ready.
Let's go.
Okay, for the first slide. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Second slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's cool. The third slide. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. The next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the other slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. 1, 2, 3 for the last slide. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, y'all, for opening your camera. And turns out there are so many gorgeous people right here, right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much for the co-host for the documentation session. We also, as the MC today, thank you to the Honorable Kepala Cabang Dinas Pendidikan Wilayah 8, to Dr. Nikma Nurbaiti, SPD MPDBI. Ibu Nikma, thank you so much. There's so many things we learned from you today. We really hope that we can see each other in the future time.
Yeah.
Is that even possible though? I really hope it is possible.
Thank you, Bulan and Melvin.
Yeah.
Wow, excellent.
So we also apologize for our mistakes that happened today as we lead the webinar as the master of ceremony.
We also thank you to all of the audience, to all of the schools that have participated today, to all the enthusiasm that you guys have given to us. So without your enthusiasm, this webinar won't be a webinar.
Yes.
So to the schools, to the students, to the speakers, to all the teachers that have participated today, we thank you all from our deepest heart. So,
and lastly, I am Melvin.
I am Bulan.
Please excuse ourselves. Goodbye and see you again.
Bye. Thank you, Bulan and Melvin. Thank you for the drama from Pangudi Luhur. Thank you for everyone.
meeting right now. Don't forget to fill in the link of ECT. Thank you so much, y'all.
Thank you very much, Bu Nikma.
Ya, welcome
Thank you
Pak
very
Angga,
much.
Pak Anton, Bapak
You're welcome, Bu
Ibu.
Nikma. Thank you.
And Bu Yanti too.
Thank you very
for
much,
all the
Bu Nikma.
Bapak Idris,
teachers.
thank you.
Mbak
All
Ben,
teachers and all students.
to all the speakers, Mas Benito, Mas Evan, Mbak Kay, Mbak Fiska, and Mbak Lintang. Thank you very much.
Sumping dari Jawa datang nekaci bawa kepiting dua ekor jajah budal belang api cak hidung gigi ronggang sapi ketawa dolo dipacu raja tunggal sinanggar tulu sinanggar tulu